Come here. Welcome to the Famous Foxes Aftermath Show, live every Sunday on Leicester Fan TV. Come on, you Foxes.
Yes, like Jamie said, welcome to the Foxes Aftermath Show. It is not Jamie from the Foxes Arms. He has took a break. It's a sad day. Let's all bow for him. I'm not going to say his intro, but it is the Famous Foxes Aftermath Show on Sunday at 9:30. So make sure you get your views in, get your comments in, and we'll get straight into it after the video.
The Leicester City machine is on the march again.
Leicester Fan TV presents a variety of content like fan discussions, match analysis, and engaging with Leicester fans worldwide. We want your views live, thanks to our sponsors, Everard's, Pucker Pies, Hologram, Take Me, Newbie & Co, and the Foxes Arms.
Want to watch more content like this? Hit the like button. Give us your views. Hit subscribe to Leicester Fan TV and make sure to follow Leicester Fan TV on all socials.
Yes, how are we all doing on this lovely Sunday morning? To be honest, I wouldn't know if it's a good Sunday morning because my curtains are closed, so we'll have to have a look later on. But hopefully everyone's having a good morning. Thank you for getting up early to watch us. Again, no Jamie, but it is what it is. Nigel, how are we doing, mate? Appreciate you coming back in. Matty, I'm guessing you're saying hello to Jamie at the Foxes Arms, but he's not here. I will be stopping saying that after a while, just making sure people know. Derek, how are we all doing? Chris, Mr. B, and fellow Foxes. Yes, of course, all the fans in here getting their views and comments in for the show. Andy Downing, how are we doing? Terence saying Monday from a sunny Puerto Rico. Very nice, mate. I know you mentioned that you were going away after the end of the season, so I appreciate you coming in from your holidays. Aggie, any more news on your Pucker Pies? Have you ever got through them yet? I know there was 24 to get through, so let me know if you've still got any left. Chris, how we all doing? Morning, Jamie. Have we any news yet? Have we, Bob? Have we, Bob? Terence also goes and says, Danny, roll over Dykes, please. I agree. Again, a lot of people are going to be very controversial on what style of play they want, what manager they want. I'm kind of glad Russell Martin did go to Rangers. In a way, it was a bit too extreme for me. In a way, yes, it probably would have been my style of football that I wanted to see, but probably isn't what majority of the fan base wanted. I think out of all the managers we've been linked with, I think Danny Roll would be the most average of what most fans would want. He's not too possession based. He's not too counter-attacking based. He's a bit in between. But like I say, Dykes for me is just very, very one way, and I don't think we'd be like to see that. Mark, how we all doing? Ben, Nick, how we all doing? And then Derek says, well, no, Russell Martin is good news. Yes, like I just said, it's probably better news for us than it is for other teams. Again, I think out of all the managers we could have had available, I think Will still probably was the best one. And Southampton took it off him. Obviously, we weren't linked with him, so they haven't took us off him. But I do feel like maybe it probably was the best shout, and they got in there early and sorted it. Andy Downing says, what's happening with Rude as regards to the manager situation? I think that's a question that everyone, or that no one knows the answer to. But we'll get Jono in a minute to get his views on it. But again, I think today's show, what we're going to do, as you can see, Leicester are still foxing about. So bit of a pun on the foxing situation. But I don't know. I feel like now we need to just move on from being a Premier League woeful team to now looking forward, going into the Championship, thinking, yes, there might be a 12-point deduction, but with the team we've got out there, and I was mentioning this last week in the office, and I said that the team we've got out there for me isn't that weaker than it was last season in the Championship. Yes, you have lost a few players who are quietly well played last season, but I still think we've got a quality squad for the Championship. I don't think it's too good for the Championship. Nick, if you check your messenger, I did send it to you as well, mate, if you wanted to come in. But appreciate you asking. We'll get a few more comments on and then we'll bring on Jono. Mark says Angie's free. Go and get him. Do you know what? It's as probably ludicrous as it sounds. I would not take him. The amount of Spurs fans that hated him this season, or even last season, for how like incompetent he is as a manager. I'd say he's probably the same like situation as what Rude is. He just doesn't. He doesn't change or fit the team to how it needs to be for certain games. I think he does what he needs to do, and if it doesn't work, it's game over. And for me, Ange at Spurs, there's a reason why they finished, 17th last season? I think it might have been 16th. I'm not too sure. But yeah, for me, probably people thinking, wow, you're not going to want to take a European Cup winning manager. No, I wouldn't. Because first of all, he's not been in the Championship. Second of all, I'd say, again, he's the same sort of situation as Rude. And then Mike Rock goes and says, what do Spurs fans know about football? Yeah, fair enough. Okay, I'll give you that there. I will put the link in quickly before we do get Jono in, just so we can get other people in as well. Nick, sorry, I thought I did send it you. I'll add that there for you. Jono, we will bring in now. 1 second. Jono, how we doing, mate?
Yeah, not too bad. All good.
So obviously we've had a lot of talk over the last few weeks about manager situation, the Leicester game relegated, all that, and I think now we've got to start not like feel like we have to go backwards in a way and just look forwards into the Championship and think, do we have what it takes to try and either win the Championship again or be in contention with it? Because again, we are probably 90% chance of getting a point deduction, which is probably not going to be good for us. But I feel like with the squad we've got, obviously from last year in the Championship, we had Dewsbury Hall, who obviously we don't have anymore. Jamie Vardy, big one that we've not got anymore. But if you can recruit a few players in them positions, and if you kept the likes of El Canoes for me in the Championship, would probably in my opinion, take up the loss of someone like Dewsbury Hall. Again, you're not going to get the passion and the academy style player who wants to win the ball at every occasion. But for me, the team we've got right now, if we kept a majority of them, I feel like we've got a good chance of staying up, going back up next season, even with a point deduction.
I don't. I think we've got zero chance of going back up. The reason being is because the club is stagnant. We're not showing any. I mean, we've been more active than the club. Yeah, that is, what we've heard nothing about anything. We have no idea who's staying, and obviously they released what players are leaving, but we have no idea what happens to Faz, Vestergaard, players that we should be shifting. We've had any idea about the managers. We've had no idea if Rue's staying or going. He doesn't know either. That says it all. Top is in Thailand playing polo. It's our sister club. Our sister club also wants to sack their manager, but they can't because they need Top's permission, and he's not giving them that yet, so they can't progress forwards. With the points deduction, yeah, I mean, we're going to get one. That's the club's again, bad club management, not assessing, not projecting the next few years, putting too many players on high wages and not foreseeing what could happen. And I think we're going to lose a lot of players and not recruit good. I think we've recruited badly for the past 3 or 4 years, and we're still suffering from that now. I mean, and the club should really be looking into our strength. That's the youngsters. So, and what scares me is that all the managers have been linked with are all different. Sean Dyche is different to Dole. He's different to who's just gone to Rangers? I've got his name.
Martin.
Martin. He's different to Martin. We've got no direction of what style of football we want to have yet. Yeah. And we're not having any managers that suit our youngsters. So yeah,
It is a bit concerning in a way of saying that all the managers we're linked with are all different. There's no like consistency in the playing style or whatnot. I do agree with you on that. But like you just said about the youngsters as well, whoever comes in, if somebody does come in, or even if Rude stays, I think the youth we've got that's coming through, again, I'm not going to blast on about them because I've not seen enough to go, they're amazing. I've seen a bit more of Monga to say that he probably has a bit more of a chance, and going down a league might help him progress. But I feel like them sort of youth players will be an impact player next season. I do feel like they could improve us as well from last season in a way of we only had Mabadidi and Fatu on the wings. Now you've got someone like Monga. Yes, he's still 15, 16, but he can come in and hopefully do an extra bit of work that we didn't have before last season. And
But do
again,
you
I'm not
think
again like Aggie says, mid-table at best. We might be, but with the quality of the squad, I think we do have for the championship. I don't know whether the point deduction will just really hinder us that much in the fact that we don't get anywhere near it. I'm not sure.
it's not the fact that we haven't got good players, it's the fact that will we keep them? Well, why would these players stay? You know what I mean? Like, you got all these players wanting to leave Manchester United. I know Manchester United, I know we're not the same scale, but you got players wanting to leave. Normally, United's a club where you want to stay because it's Manchester United, but they all want to leave. You know, we're ring rad badly from the top down. Why would a player want to think, okay, this is why I can grow as a player?
Yeah, no, I get you. Nick has joined. I'll get him in just 2 seconds. Just gonna get a few more comments up. Ben Morgan says, "Get Big Nige in as DOF. Maybe is what is needed." Go on, Jono.
Andrew Wilson put a comment saying, "Tell me another club that hangs their washing out. There isn't one."
Yeah.
I mean, a football club shouldn't say, "Oh, who are we buying? Who manager we're looking for?" We shouldn't be announcing that. But what we do want is just let me know you're alive. You know, there's been no,
let us know your heart's still beating.
like
Yeah.
let us like say, oh, like we've had a really bad season. All the players have said how bad we've been. Vardy's been the most, blunt.
Yeah.
The club hasn't said, we're really sorry. We are building into next year.
Yeah.
That's the part which we need to be more public about, not the signings. It's that.
No, I get you. And the last comment I will say is that a lot of people were mentioning about what Rude said, what we heard from, was it one of the journalists said about, oh, Rude's not been told, he's still in the air about what's happening, and he's on holiday at the moment with his family. I would just say, in my opinion, I'd say there's nothing wrong with that. If he has to have a feeling that he needs to know, and people are saying, well, if he's still in a job, you just do your job. But if you've been on that bad of a loss and you're going into a new season where thinking, I need to know if I'm preparing for next season or not, you've got to tell me. And that's where I do feel like it's wrong. And people are going rude saying, oh, yeah, but you should be just doing your job. You've got 2 years on your contract left, which I get, but he needs to know if he's going forward with this squad going into the championship. But I will bring in Nick now. Nick, how are we doing, mate?
Oh, all right, matey. How about yourself?
All good, all good. Is it a sunny day today or not?
It's cloudy, but the sun is there, mate. So if you look out your window, you'll be all right.
Yeah, I can't do it right now. My windows are closed. Nick, how are we doing? We're not seeing you for a bit, but what's your take on the situation at the moment? Because again, we've been going over and over and over about manager situation and all this. What do you feel like needs to happen in the next 2 or 3 weeks for it to start turning things around? Because I feel like if it gets to July 1st, it's only about just over a month until the games start.
We're all acting kind of like we're all surprised that this is happening, but let's not forget last season when Enzo buggered off, how long did it take to get Cooper in? We were waiting a hell of a long time. There's no urgency behind the scenes. The only saving grace I've got is Russell Martin's gone to Rangers. That's the only thing I'm happy about.
Yeah.
And if that's what it's come to, that's what you can all cling on to as a positive, then we're in trouble. We are going to get a points deduction. Anybody says it's uncertain, in the words of Pearson, you're an ostrich, because it's going to happen. We embarrassed
Hey, we
the
thought we were going to get we thought we were going to get a point deduction this year, and
Yeah, no,
Nick,
but
Nick
We can't
DeMarco.
avoid it
Rudy,
now.
yeah, but
We can't
Rudy,
avoid it.
we got off on a technicality.
No,
that
I
we
get it. I
can't
get it.
do
I'm
this
just saying,
time.
there's every like tiny 0.01% there's a
They've
chance
got-
there's the
We
way we get
can't.
out of it.
There's
And
no.
one thing you want, because we embarrassed them, what's not to stop the EFL putting a transfer embargo on us?
No, yeah, I
That's a
completely.
possibility.
I agree.
Nobody's saying that.
No,
And
I
then we
agree.
are
I agree.
shafted. We've got high earners still on the books. Vestergaard's staying around, according to his statement this week.
Yeah.
So you'll be out there. You got your favourite defender still in for the season.
Daka won't
I'm
leave
gonna-
either, so you got your favourite attacker
Exactly.
and defender.
And there's rumours linking us around. I don't know if anybody else has seen it about Oxlade-Chamberlain.
Yes,
coming in.
I did. I was going to
Another-
mention it. Yeah.
Another high earner that's a
Do you know?
crock that we
Do you
don't
know
need.
what though? I think that sort of player where I think he's been let go by Besiktas, if I'm not mistaken. And
Yeah.
a player like him, a few years ago, I would have been like, yeah, go nowhere near him. But I still think there's a player in him that could do a job for us in the Championship if we can get what, I don't know if it's on a free and we have to pay his wages or whatnot. But a player like him, I honestly do feel like there's a chance he could be good for us.
I just don't get what it is with our club and ex-Southampton players and staff. We seem to be like their feeder club. Oxlade-Chamberlain, Bertrand, Glover, the recruitment,
Van
Well,
Dijk, not Van Dijk,
Vestergaard.
Mm.
These players are not good enough for Southampton, but yet we're taking them. It says everything, really. Let's be honest.
No, yeah, I agree. What I will
I'm
say is, go on, John.
I'm
Go
gonna
on.
I'm gonna shoot off, but just have me on. I'll be on at some point soon.
Yeah, no worries. Cheers for joining, John.
See you later.
See you in a bit.
Yeah, mate.
Nick, what I was going to mention is Enzo Maresca did join, I think, on the 15th of June. That's still not there yet. And we weren't questioning. Obviously, we had a different situation and there wasn't a manager in charge at that point because Dean Smith and whatnot left. But would it be too late if we did get the manager or know that we kept Rude before July 1st? Because again, Enzo Maresca joined us in a week's time, and we still did very well. And again, I'm not trying to put positive on this situation, but it could be okay if we got him if we got some clarity in the next week or two.
It would be okay, but I just don't see it. And if anything, I feel sorry for Rude, to be perfectly honest. Yes, he wasn't my first choice for the job, but a bit like Cooper, he wasn't backed in the January window. He got what, €2.5 million of Wayu Koulibaly, who's barely played. And now it feels like they keep him on, a string saying, well, we're going to have a look, see if there's anybody better than you on a free or small compensation. If there's not, you can take this. That's what it feels like. We need to put pre-season in place. We've got no fixtures announced for pre-season.
Yeah.
Which is crucial. We've got players that need to go. We've got players, positions that need recruiting for. I'm sorry, we need a strike. We need at least 2 strikers this window because Daka is not. He is not up to the job.
I am worried. I am worried that we're not going to, and we are going to be going up front with Daka all season. And I know now that he's not. I can't say bad, but I don't know why.
Read it. He's just not built for the football in this country.
I do get it, and I do believe that if he went somewhere else, I think he could thrive. Because again, he can't get. I know it's the Austrian league, but he got a lot of goals in the Austrian league, and it shows something he can do in other leagues. But I'm scared that we're not going to be able to buy these sort of players. Again, there's players in the Championship that I'll tell you now, I've been watching Welcome to Wrexham from last season, and they bought one of the top scorers in January from League One. Literally bought their competition striker, and they start winning games again. And is that something that we should be doing? Should we be going to one of the top teams who didn't make it up last season? Maybe like a Bristol City or something like that, and go for someone who has scored goals last season for them, and we nick them from them. Is that our route to try and get back up?
Well, I've been saying for years we should go back to the old model when we had Pearson and Steve Walsh Senior, where you look at players that are solid enough for the Championship, but potentially make that next step up,
Yeah.
and do well there. But yeah, there's no. It's all about making them gel as well, though, Reedy. That's the only issue.
Yeah.
The reason why we were so successful under that Pearson model is they were finding players that could gel with the squad. People used to say it was like a band of brothers where they'd fight
Yeah.
for each other and stuff. Let's be fair, we ain't seen that for years. It's a mammoth job. Somebody said earlier on in the comments, get Pearson as director of football. 100% yes for me on that one, because he knows the value of a player. And he was doing that job anyway when we were in League One. There was no director of football there anyway. He was in charge of the recruitment. He was in charge of the transfers, the wages. He was in charge of everything. And look at the foundations
Yeah.
he built.
Do you know what? I'm going to ask this question to the chat and Nick as well. And I don't think this is a question that I feel like many people have asked straight up. And this is for me. Do you think if Top or Rudkin decided to leave, as in Top sacked Rudkin or Rudkin just decided to leave, do you really think that would be the issue solved? I don't think it would be.
It wouldn't be, but it would be a start.
Yes, it would be a start. Yes, even if somebody got employed for the director of football role and then John Rudkin stayed there, I think it'd please our fans, but I don't think it would fix the whole issue of Leicester City.
No, it wouldn't, mate. And
a lot of people in the
be a
comments will probably be like, "Yes, it has. It will. The moment he's gone, it's done." I honestly think there might be a chance if Rudkin did go in any sort of fashion, we could dip. We could dip, because I'm not saying he's the sole reason why we were doing well, but
it was nothing to do. Us doing well was nothing to do with Rudkin.
No, of course not. But the years of them two, or obviously Vichai as well at the time, was kind of that close knit kind of bond, did well. But I feel like if you do change that sort of thing up, it might be a bad situation that comes with, you never know. It might mean we go to League One. I don't know, but I don't think that is a sole issue fixed, in my opinion.
There's a way where Rudkin can stay.
Yes. No.
But
yeah. I agree. Yeah.
We get what needs to happen is Rudkin needs to, if he wants to stay, he needs to solely focus on the club, not just be in charge of the club, the horse side of things, and the other king. He's spread himself too thin. Do you know what I mean? You need a director of football just to be in charge of the football club, not the horse racing, not the blooming polo, not the duty free side.
Yeah.
Either give him some help and somebody knows what they're doing, and he's just in the background doing, top shoelaces, or sack him.
Yeah. Hey, I'm not saying from the people's comments here, I'm not saying that Rudkin is going. I don't think he will go either. I'm just saying, do you think Rudkin leaving or being sacked would be the fix? And I don't think it would be. And
I think
yes, it might just mean it might just make the fans happier and stop moaning. I'm not saying moaning, because moaning is the right thing to do at the moment with the club, but stop moaning about Rudkin and whatnot, and continue and focus on the team itself. Again, I'm just looking at other comments. I don't know.
What's the comment saying, Rita? Generally, people saying yes?
People just say that Rudkin needs to go now. Sacking Rudkin would not fix the issues, but definitely needs to happen to move the club forward. I agree. I do agree.
Agree on that.
But the last comment we'll do on today is next season, because again we're gonna get a point deduction. We might get transfer embargoes, and other than that. But if we didn't get a transfer embargo, other than the striker, do you feel like we need to improve on any area of the pitch? Because for me, you've got the likes of Chowdhury back in now. You've got the likes of Ben Nelson, maybe, who could include into the team. Do you feel like we've still got any weak spots in that team for the Championship season?
Well, strikers,
obviously, yes. Yeah. Just obviously, yeah, the striker.
But then you're gonna have to replace players that we potentially lose. You know, will Alcudia still be here? You know,
I'd hope so. I think honestly, if he does stay, I think he could be nearly player of the season already. Just because I'm not saying he's world class. I'm just saying that that level for him should be a walk in the park.
I think you potentially would need another winger. Potentially, you know, you've got Stefe. I think will stay. I think Fatui will stay. But then you've got the likes of Ayu, Dakova Reed. They may be going.
Yeah.
You know,
Maybe AU's our
Vestergaard's not
striker
going.
situation sorted.
Well,
I don't want it to happen. I'm just saying that right now you've probably got your best goal scorer there.
I'll tell you what with Ayu, he gets a lot of stick, but when you look at his stats this season, he didn't do too badly. He was one of the better ones, and that says everything you need to know.
No, I agree.
Akola, centre back, we may need another centre back bringing in. Fast may finally give it a call. Sumara, he won't stick around. And Diddy's got that 9 million release clause. He might not stick around.
No, I agree.
Winks. You know, is Winks going to move to the counter?
If Rude stays, I can't see in a world where Vestergaard or Winks gets back into the team because they're just not sorting it out. And then I will finally say, before we let Nick go, congratulations to Casey McAteer for his first goal for Ireland. He got a 1-1 draw versus Senegal, which again, for a Senegal team who's got quite a few good players, he's done well when he's got his first goal. And obviously, I don't know how long ago he moved to being an Irish. Did he move from English to being Irish? I thought he was English and then moved to being an Irish player.
I don't know, mate. A lot of that side of things confuses me. I mean, Matty Elliott played for Scotland, for God's sake, and he's as cockney as you can come.
But yeah, all I'm going to say is congratulations, because I think that was his first goal for them. So he's done well. And again, like you were saying about the winger situation, there's another winger now for the championship that I feel like could be too good for the championship.
Well, he did all right in the championship last season.
Yeah.
Didn't he? So
fair enough. Yeah. Do you know what? I will say one more thing because a lot of people are commenting it. A lot of people are saying about Suter. I'm saying that he could be good enough in the championship.
He would be good enough. He would be good enough.
Yes.
But does he want to stay after we've messed him around for 2-3 years?
Probably not. Nick, appreciate you coming on. We'll catch you sometime soon. Hopefully, I'll see you when you're posting my letters.
When I'm posting your rubbish you're buying off of eBay and Amazon and all that lot. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. All right, mate. See you in a bit.
Cheers, bud.
Cheers. And then we've finally got a special guest to come on. His name is Sean. Just before we finish, we'll get his views on stuff. So here he is, Mr. Sean. How are we doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, all good?
Yeah, all good. Yeah.
Come on then, mate. Before we go, we want you to give us the biggest Leicester City and give all the positivity you can for the Leicester fans.
Okay. Before I do that,
yeah, go on.
I think need to sack the board.
Yeah.
And I think we need some more decent players.
Yeah.
And to sack the manager into Sean Dyche.
Oh, Sean wants Sean Dyche. Oh, fair enough, mate. Fair enough. Appreciate you coming on. Go on, give us our big. Go on, you showing something on your phone.
And we need a striker. And I think him.
Joe Perot. Oh, will he leave Leeds? I'm not too sure.
Okay, I'm just asking.
No, I'm not saying you're wrong, mate. It would be a good replacement, but I don't know if he would leave Leeds in the Premiership. Go on then, Sean. Before we go, give us the biggest one we've got.
Come on, Leicester. Come on.
Yeah, come on, Sean.
The Championship.
Yeah, we're back to the Championship, mate. But appreciate you coming on. Sorry it's not too long, but we'll see you another time, yeah?
Yeah.
Cheers, Sean. Appreciate it. There we go. Shawnee boy wants Sean Dyche. Adrian says Sean to replace Rubbish Van Nistelrooy. Could be a good job. Could be. AU, I think that was mentioning to when I said about being a striker. Do you know what? I don't think he'd be that bad. As much as I don't like him, I think he would be all right. But that's where we'll finish. Appreciate you coming on. Mr. B says, go on, Sean. Of course. Right, appreciate you coming on. Make sure to check out all the socials, as you can see down here, if I get it right every time I do it. Get all your socials. Follow Leicester Fan TV. I will be next week, hopefully, doing the new show on this Sunday. For basically a roundup, because it's going into the summer window now, obviously. And the summer break, where we can get all the transfer gossip and fixture news. Because, again, not mentioned it, but we could be having a fixture against Florentina, if I'm not mistaken, but I don't know if it's accurate, so I'm not going to say anything else until it's confirmed. Appreciate everyone coming on, and we'll catch you all on the next show. Cheers, guys. Peace out.
The Leicester City machine is on the march again.
Leicester Fan TV presents a variety of content like fan discussions, match analysis, and engaging with Leicester fans worldwide. We want your views live, thanks to our sponsors, Everard's, Pucker Pies, Hologram, Take Me, Newbie & Co, and the Fox's Arms.
Want to watch more content like this? Hit the like button. Give us your views. Hit subscribe to Leicester Fan TV and make sure to follow Leicester Fan TV on all socials.